Assalamu alaikum students. I'm your ma'am Ms. Sadia Qureshi from Dubai Mahal College Road, Bahawalpur. Today we are going to talk about summary and pressy writing in our BS English class semester 2nd. First of all, we are going to define what is summary writing. By definition, a summary is a short description of a longer work covering all the highlights but not many of the details. It is an overview so to get an idea of the longer work without reading or watching it first. We see summaries everywhere. Book covers having summaries at the back, sometimes product descriptions at the back of shampoo bottles or lotion bottles, or online reviews that are there, and so on. It shows only the best part and ignores what is not necessary. So we need to know about that. What we are going to talk about in the summary is always the best parts, and we need to ignore all those parts which seem to be unnecessary. Now, there are some key points which we need to think about before writing the summary, and I have discussed these key points in this slide. We need to stick to the facts. Whatever facts are there in front of you, you need to stick to them. You're not going to deviate from them, you're not going to ignore them, but you are going to stick with them, that whatever is written over there, we have to describe that into the summary as well. We cannot include our opinions or analysis or biased beliefs. Summaries appear in different shapes and forms as reviews, product descriptions, abstract of research articles, or etc. Summaries of commercial purpose will be alluring and fascinating. It means that whenever we are going to write down about a movie or about a book or about something that we want to post and on the social media as an ad, and we have to write down the summary of that product or of that movie or of that book, it is always going to be alluring and fascinating. It means it's going to be eye catching. It's going to be written in such kind of words which are going to catch the attraction of the people who are going to watch it or going to read it. But summaries for the academic purpose will be factual, clinical, or theoretical. It means that summaries written for the academic purposes will have a different kind of mood, and they are based on the facts more than the alluring or fascinating language. They are going to be clinical. By clinical, I mean to say that they are going to be scientific, they are going to be academic, they are going to be more theoretical, they are going to be based on the experimental knowledge. Next is that what makes a good summary. This slide will tell you that there are 4 steps which need to be followed, and by following these 4 steps you are going to be able to write down good summaries. So the first step is to read and watch the source material. It means that whatever the paragraph or whatever the story or whatever the book you are going to consult, you need to read that thoroughly. If you're going to write down a summary on an incident which is happening in a movie or in the on the social media, and you have to describe it in the summary, you are going to watch the whole of it. We need to think about this idea that reading and watching the source material critically will help you out to write down a good summary. Number 2 is make the list of the key points. It means that you have to pick up a pen and a pencil or a paper, and you have to list out all those points which you are going to see or you're going to watch or you're going to read in that particular source material, because writing down the key points will help you out that how you're going to manage your summary. The third point is this, that you're going to write down a summary in your own words. It means that copying some words from the source material is not allowed. You are going to write it down in the third person, and you are going to use your own words to make it more and more original. Number 4 is edit and cut what is unnecessary. So over here you need to edit or cut. How you can edit or cut? Before writing the actual summary, you have to prepare a rough draft, and after that rough draft you are going to edit and cut out all that is unnecessary, and then you think that if your summary is ready to be expressed in the final draft, then you can express it in the final draft. Now we are going to go deep into these 4 points, and we are going to discuss what we are going to do in these 4 points. That reading and watching the source material is that it is a must. You have to go through it by your own self. listening to the stories or listening to the overviews or listening to the summaries or watching the videos or teasers, or you can say that the trailers will not help you out. You have to watch it thoroughly or you have to read it thoroughly. Next point is, do read other people's reviews or summaries, but read the actual writing or watch the actual movie to make your own point of view. Next one is that personal write up is always the best to explain thought process, because everybody has a different view, so everybody looks at the things with their own eyes. Now the thing is this, that a cultivated mind will see many different aspects which the mind of an unlearned person will not be able to see. So fertile minds will always go for having positive ideas, and illiterate minds will always see something that acts on in as their own interest. So you're going to write down your personal write up, so you have to watch the movie by your own self or you have to read the extract by your own self to explain it best possible way. Next is, if you want to compose a risk free writing, you need to go through the whole thing, otherwise you are liable to miss the essence of the writing. It means that if I have some idea and I'm going to summarize something, I will do it with my own mind. The things that will attract me, I will write them down in my summary. Now, this same summary is going to be written down by somebody else, but they have a different mindset, so they will notice or choose all those things which are going to interest them. So they will present it according to their own point of view. The thing over here is this, that you must listen to all these point of views, you must listen to the reviews, you can watch the teasers, you can watch the trailers, you can watch the excessive material which is given over there on the websites or on the YouTube. But the thing is this, that whenever you write down something, if you want to make it a risk-free writing, you need to compose it on your own self. Next is, make a list of the key points. Making out an outline of the key points will help you out to memorize all the things which you have seen in the source material. Then the next point is that points on the list may differ according to the material you are summarizing. It means that if the written material is long, obviously the length of the points will always exceed. And if the written material is short or the movie is short, you have less points to talk about in the summary. So they can vary, and they can vary in the sense that they depend upon the length of the source material. The next thing is review points and cutting of the unnecessary items which are priority wise less important. The thing is, when you start writing a review, you make a rough draft and then you are going to review that rough draft, or you are going to review those points which you have written already. Then you have to cut down all those unnecessary items so that you may see that which things are most important to be discussed in the summary and which things are least important to not to be discussed in the summary. So this is how you will give a second look to your points, and then you are going to decide that what you are going to write down in your summary. The next point is, it is a kind of memory check. The most important points will give you a glimpse of how far your memory works to note vital aspects. Noting down points helps you out to check your memory. It's a very good point that when you note down something, and while watching or while reading any source material, that is good, but sometimes it happens that you note down something after watching it or after reviewing it or after reading it. When you note down all those points, it means you're trying to give a check to your memory that whatever you have read, have you understood all that, or you're going to miss some points, or were there some points which were very important and they clicked your interest, so you're going to write them down on the top and then on the bottom. So you need to see what you're going to do with this basic point. But the thing is this, that writing down the points are actually a kind of memory check which helps you a lot in revising or reviewing the actual source material. The next thing is that you need to refill gaps. One needs to go back and forth to see if anything is missing. Skimming may help in this regard, as it is not required to read the whole thing or watch the whole movie. Now we have read about the skimming and scanning technique, and they say that if you need to see, if you come across some of the gaps while noting down your points and you feel that you have missed something, you need to go back to your source material and you need to see that which part is missing. Then you can skim that material quickly and then you can come back with the key that was missing while writing down the points. The next slide tells us that writing down the summary in your own words is how much important. Write the first draft. It means that whenever you are going to write down summary, it's not going to be a final draft. You are always going to write down your rough draft, your immediate draft that you have skimmed or you have done after watching or reading that source material. Note events and adjust them in chronological order. First of all, we are going to note down the events, then we need to adjust them into the chronological order. Chronological order means that first thing will come first and the last things will come last. You are not going to disturb the events or the order of the events which have occurred in that source material. The third thing is you need to use your own words. If you're going to use your own words, your summary will be original. And if you're not going to use your own words, the summary will not give the look of the summary. It will look like that you have copied the words of the original paragraph and you are going to describe them in your summary. The next thing is you can copy occasional direct quotations in the summary too. If there is occasional direct quotations in the summary, you can write them down them down from the original paragraph. You can write them down into your summary as well, because something is happening again and again and the person is talking or the man is saying their dialogue again and again, so you can quote their dialogue in your summary too. The next thing is that your own vocabulary will make your summary more original. Use your own vocabulary. If you do not have a very hi-fi vocabulary, you can use your simple vocabulary, but the only thing required while writing a summary is that it should be very original and it should come out of the mouth or the pen of the reader. Next thing, use transitional words or phrases so to make your summary more intact and coherent. Previously, we have talked about transitional phrases or transitional words. Transitional phrases or words are those things which actually add into the meaning of the previous sentences or the former sentences. Like I have given you examples over here, such as, however, as a result of, or in addition to. All these words will help you to describe or exemplify your material in a more intact way. Now, the first thing that we are going to talk about is edit and cut what is unnecessary. Proofreading phases are much needed. It means that once you have written your summary, you can put it down somewhere, you can do your work, and after some time when you come back to your summary, you feel like that you have written excessive material, or maybe you have gone through the word limit and you have gone across that word limit. You can adjust that word limit, or you may be able to find out some good ideas to write down in the summary once you taken a break. The next thing is that watch for unnecessary information. Sometimes it happens that we write down so many things in the summary, but the things is this, that when we read it once again, we feel that some things are not required to be written in the summary. So we cut them down. While cutting them down, you will notice that you go through so many ideas which were not coming in your mind beforehand. So those ideas, you can jot them down and you can write them somewhere on the side of the paragraph or a side of the summary, so that you can adjust them afterwards. Grammar and spelling check is a must. Whenever you write down your summary, you need to see that your spellings and grammars should be correct. Focus on important aspects. Whatever your source material is, you need to only highlight the important or the most important aspects of that source material. The next thing is this, that use synthesis techniques to minimize the use of words. It means that sometimes we are giving that you have to write down the summary within this word limit. So what we do is that we apply the technique of synthesis. What is synthesis? Synthesis is basically a technique through which you can combine two or more words, maybe two or more sentences into one sentence. Like I have given you many times, I have given you an example of, like, Ali is a tall boy, Ali is very lean, and Ali is a healthy guy, and Ali used to play cricket. So you can write down that Ali, comma, a tall and lean boy loves to play cricket or loves to play football. So you can write that down in one line, except this, that you are going to explain it into different four sentences. So this is how we cut down the excessive use of words, and we try to join the words into sentences in such a way that they may feel like synthesized. So this was the lecture for today, and I hope that you like it. If you are going to have any, if you are having any kind of questions, you can comment on in the below section, and you can tell me so that we can discuss them in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Allah Hafiz.